Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's fitness magazine. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to amazonsfitmag.com. The podcast is brought to you by GPS Photography and Video. Why photography and video? Because of a photo's worth 1,000 words, video's worth 1,000,000. gpsphotoandvideo.com. My guest today, IFBB figure pro, Dominiq Gist. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
And as you are in the middle of prep, hey, continue your meal because I understand the flow that you are in. Everyone's forgiveness I need to ask because it took me the longest to find my glasses. And so now we're straight. And so, hey, we're here. So for those that do not know, you have a great, interesting profile, backstory. And I always like to present that like, what do you do when you are not being in competitive fitness or being a bodybuilder? Your livelihood, how you make it. So tell everyone a little bit about that.
Okay, so I am I kind of have like three hats, right? I have my civilian side, I'm in the military, and then I have bodybuilding. So for my civilian life, my everyday, my 9 to 5, if you will, I am a police officer. I work for St. Petersburg Police Department in Florida.
Nice.
Previously I worked, yep. Previously I was a detention deputy for Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and then just switched over to the law enforcement side.
Okay, so that's Tampa, right?
Yep, that's the Tampa area. Yep.
Good deal.
And then I've been in the Army for 13 years, so I joined like right after high school. I joined at 17. My parents still had to sign for me. I joined right at 17, joined the Army Reserve, and I've been in, like I said, for about 13 years. I promoted all the way up until E6. I was enlisted, and then last year I went to OCS, Officer Candidate School, in Fort Benning, Georgia, and commissioned as a lieutenant. So now I'm on the officer side, and currently right now I'm stationed at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, where AG Bullock was. So that was the last like basic officer school that I have to do, and I completed that. And then I get to go home and start back at the police department.
That is
So busy.
That's a lot.
busy.
That's really
Yeah.
fitness 360 because you got to be in a certain amount of shape as far as obviously in the military. You got to be in a certain shape or fit level of fitness in law enforcement. And of course, you are a competitive figure pro. So how do you make all that work?
Well, I kind of like how I'm doing it right now. Everybody has their own way, but how I am doing it is I have like seasons and like years. So 2024 was my bodybuilding year. 2024 was when I had 2 shows that year, and I was like, I'm turning pro. It was I'd already done 2 national shows, placed well. Well, I placed well. I came in second place in one. The other one, I just did that one before deployment because I just really wanted to compete before I deployed. So I didn't do well in that one. But I decided like 30 days before I was deploying that I wanted to do a show, and it was just that show. So whatever. But I had already competed, so I'm like 2024 is the year I'm competing. I'm turning pro. So that's what happened. 2024 I competed, turned pro. 2025 was my career year, right? I had to go back to work, so to speak. So I was focusing on Army, and I was focusing on my civilian career. So I was at OCS, Officer Candidate School, for 3 months, March to end of May of 2025. And then I started the police academy literally like 2 months later. So that whole year of 2025 up until pretty much now, I've been in school to progress my careers, plural, right? So so now I'm going back into transition to see if hopefully I can bring this year / beginning of next year, back into my bodybuilding year. So that's how I do it. I just kind of like, okay, what do I got to do? Like I gotta make the money so I can bodybuild, but I want
Right.
to bodybuild. Like that's my hobby, that's my passion. So I kind of move it like a chess piece like that. It's tough.
Level
Don't
of
get me wrong, it's tough.
no, I know, no question. Level of fitness. Back in my day, they had the AR 600-9, which was weight and fitness regulation, if you want to call it. How does that play into it? Um, when you talk about your PT test now, did you take? Obviously, you took one in school, but how does that
Mhm.
play into your competitive bodybuilding?
So it's funny because like bodybuilders don't run. That's kind of one thing, at least like competitive bodybuilders, they don't run. Why? Because it's hard on the knees, it's hard on the joints, it's hard on your back. And if you're going to do cardio, there's way easier forms of cardio that you could do that are going to burn those calories and like do the things that you need to do than running, like than running would do, right?
Right.
So we don't run, right? Like I need my knees to be okay so I can go do these freaking hack squats, right? Like I'm not going to waste
Mm-hmm.
my good cartilage on a run. Like that's just so pretty much before my PT tests for the Army, or for the police department, because we have to run
Mm-hmm.
in those two, then I'll just like start trying to like run outside a little bit. Like during my little cardio walks, I'll just kind of like start like doing a little jog and everything. But surprisingly, this was my best run I think my best 2 mile run I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always good at PT. Like it's never been a problem. Obviously, I'm decently fit year round. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but this year, like at AG Bullock, uh, I got a 492 out of 500 on my PT test, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a five category test now.
Yeah.
Uh,
It
three
used to
rep
be three back
deadlift.
in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much max everything except a plank. I hate the plank. I can't
Oh.
max the plank. So we have a 3 rep max deadlift, which I maxed
Mm-hmm.
that. We have a sprint drag carry, which is like sprint down, back, do all this crap. Um, and
What
I
do you
maxed
carry?
that. So there's like a sled drag, and that's 90 pounds, and
Okay.
then you carry two, like farmers carry,
Mm-hmm.
two kettlebells, and they're both 40 pounds, I think, something like that.
Yes.
So yeah.
How long does it take to do this test? Because they used to have, I think, when we would come out, you got 2 hours to do the PT test. I mean, that was the whole unit, obviously, but I mean to get done. But how long does it take in a given day for that? Because now you got 5 events as opposed to 3, which was push up, set ups, 2 mile run, and now you got all this other mess. I'm like, yeah, I'm out at a good time. Forget that.
Yeah, it's when I'm at my unit, I think it takes about 2 hours, give or
Mm-hmm.
take. Um, but here we only had like 40 or 50 people doing it. It was like a class and a half or like two classes or something. And
Right,
it took about an hour. Like it was not long at all. An hour and 10 minutes maybe. So luckily like it's moving pretty quick.
right.
So
So the one commonality, at least, is cardio. So I mean, so when you're doing
exactly.
cardio, you're really working on all three. So, but
Exactly.
that's a heck of a combination. Because I met those that compete that are in the military, and I met those that are in law enforcement or firefighter and compete, but never someone that does law enforcement and in the military. So I mean, that's
It's
pretty.
me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that reflects well on you and gung ho and going after it and trying to balance all three because technically you got a diet for all three as well. So because you
Hmm.
still have to meet height and weight requirements, correct?
Yep, still have height and weight. Luckily, that never really is an issue for me. I'm always above the height and weight cap, so I always
Mm-hmm.
have to get taped. I don't
Yeah,
think there's
me
been a
too.
single time I haven't been taped.
African American
Um,
males and females always gonna have to get taped. It's just where it is.
your girl's gonna have to get taped. So But luckily, since I am bodybuilding and since I am always decently in shape, my belly
Mhm.
is never like, you know, I'm never having like this fat fucking nasty belly. So I
Yeah.
mean, I always pass it. I've never been concerned about it. So, but like I do fluctuate from off season to in season. So I have like
Mhm.
different uniforms. Like so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
expensive
I
because
was gonna
like
say the same
even
thing.
man, I got so many uniforms because depending on like where I'm at, depending
Yeah.
on what I'm doing. And so for my bulletproof vest, like it sucks because when I'm in season or when I'm lean, I got it,
Hmm.
I got it fitted when I was in off season.
Right.
So it's like bigger. And so now when I'm in season, it's like I just want to like I just play with it a lot because it's like
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but I'll get a new
You
one
feel like you
eventually.
gotta have two different ones, huh?
Yeah, but that they're a bit pricey, so
Oh, no. Oh, I know. I mean, you may
they're a bit
see if you
pricey.
see if you can get your Kevlar from the military to match, and
I know.
maybe hook it up that way. And for those that don't know,
Exactly.
the tape test is talking about the body fat percentage. And back in the day, for males, it was three measurements: one on the neck, and of course on the waist. And what
And
was
then
the
on the
other one?
hips.
In
It
the
was
hips.
the hips, the glutes or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, how is that now? Do they still take? And for women, it was the wrist also. But I mean, do they still
I never had
take
to
the wrist?
I never had to do the wrist. It was always the neck, belly and hips.
Right. Yeah.
But now they just changed it to where it's just one measurement, and this is army wide for both males and females. It's
Right.
just the waist, like just at the belly
Okay.
button. And
Yep.
it's one measurement and it's a waist to height ratio or waist to waist height and
Mm.
weight ratio or whatever it is. Again, I'm
Yeah.
still not worried about it, but
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Well, the good part about it, back in my day, you know pretty much whether you were good to go. Because I had a 22-inch neck, but then I knew my waist was 30, 36, 38. I was good to go, so I wasn't worried. You get that waist up there, you start later in like 40 and 42, like, oh, okay, you know, fat boy. And, and then the whole thing of, you want to talk about the ultimate body shaming organization, it's the military.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Well,
people talk about
and
body
now
dysmorphia. Yeah, go to the military.
and now, with Pete Hegseth in there as uh,
Yeah.
the DOW, he's like changing things to where it's it's actually easy to fail. I think it's like a 34
Mhm.
inch or something.
Yeah.
Don't quote me. I haven't spent too long looking into it, but I want to say,
Yeah.
and again, this could just be for my height, but it's like a 34
Yeah.
inch waist
Well,
or something.
and mostly it's the active duty, I think, probably suffer the most. When you're National Guard and AGR, you got a little bit more time to plan it out, and.
Hmm.
So, uh, speaking of which, you didn't want to just stay active duty. You wanted to always be AGR or National Guard.
Um, yeah, I think when I first joined, again, I joined at 17, right?
Yeah.
So when at that time when I joined, I was more so thinking like, just have a couple dollars in my pocket, but I really wanted to go to college and
Yep.
play
Pay for college. Yep.
soccer. And
Yep.
so like I played college soccer. I played um at an NJCAA D1 team. Shout out to MCC. My coach was Sal Galvano. Still remember him, and I still think about him to this day.
Mm.
There's a trauma bond, but I mean, he was a good coach. It was a good program. So played there, and then in New York, and then played at like a private D2 school in Florida
Mm-hmm.
afterwards. So like I wanted to play soccer, and then I played semi-professionally, um, and
Mm.
then tried out for before COVID happened. We were going to have the Tampa Bay Rowdies was going to have a women's team, and Don Tobin was going to be the coach. and I played for him semi-professionally. And so he called me up and was like, in his English accent, he's like, I need a defender. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there. Like, so so soccer was my original goal
Gotcha.
when I joined the military. So I was like, oh, military can be on the back end or, like a secondary thing. And if, like I was alive, I remember the 2008 crash and like everybody was losing their jobs and like my dad got
Mm,
laid off, right?
yeah.
So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
at least I can
Housing
always
crash.
have,
Yeah.
yep, the economy crashed. So I'm like, okay, well, at least I can always have like money in my pocket, just in case. Like if I were to get
Mhm.
laid off as an adult, like I can just go back to the military and they'll. So that was kind of my forethought
Yeah.
as a 17, 18-year-old going into the new world. Now I think I really like I love law enforcement. It's a passion of mine, but
Hmm.
I'm thinking the AGR route. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It would be a lot easier for me. It would be a lot easier on me with bodybuilding
Hmm.
to go AGR. It
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
significantly easier.
And just do that and don't do law enforcement.
Exactly.
Did you have a pick in FIFA? Did you watch any of the soccer games, or did you care because you was so much into
I
school?
did. I was in school, but luckily things were winding down, so I did get to watch. I wanted Argentina to win, but I was super
Okay.
disappointed with their final game. Like, why were they just trying to like take players out and everything? Like, I feel like they just played like crap. So, like, there's no one really to blame but themselves on that
So you
one.
think it
But
came
I
down to
mean,
coaching or the players?
what's that?
You think it came down to that coach's decision or playing or the players?
I think it was players. I don't know what happened. It was just a bad.
Yeah,
It was just a bad game for them. There's
that's a
rumors that like
long.
something happened in the locker room or something, but I think it was. I think that's players.
But I mean, that's a long tournament. I mean, in football, one and done. Even in the playoff, Super Bowl, what have you. But to play all those, and yeah, we have playoff in American football, but it's just like it's more finality. It's more of a, and maybe that's just because soccer. I mean, I think it's growing here in America. It's
Mhm.
not there at the level it is overseas because it's like nuts over there. But I was glad to see all the people that came over here and experienced the American culture and different things. So it seemed like they had a ball.
Yeah, that was really cool to see.
Turning now to law enforcement. So you be out on the road writing tickets. So if I'm coming down I-95 and you pull me over, you gonna let me go?
I ain't gonna let you go. No,
Oh,
no,
oh man.
whatever. We're afforded discretion, so I might
Right.
let you go. I might give you a ticket. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, first of all, I'm not gonna be speeding, but I do have to pay my toll because I went down to Orlando in April, Florida Expressway Authority. So I got that to take care of. As long as I
Oh,
take care of it before registration, I'll be good. But I'm like, I guess I'm used to like in West Virginia, you go through the toll and you'll pay it. Here in North Carolina and then in Florida, man, you just rolling and next thing you get it sent in the mail. It's like, well, dang. And then you forget about it. Maybe you mislaid. Next thing you know, come time for registration, you're paying $300 for a daggone toll. Maybe I'll get one of those easy passes or something. I don't know.
yeah, I have an easy pass
Yeah. So
or a sun.
now,
They call it a sun pass. But
yeah, okay. So now that you're going back home, when this weekend that you're
yep,
done,
tomorrow.
are you gonna go to the Tampa Pro?
I will be there
Mm-hmm.
on Thursday and a little bit on Friday. And then I actually have to fly out for a family reunion in New York.
Oh,
So I won't be
congratulations!
there on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Looking forward to seeing everybody. So
So you're
but I
gonna
will
miss
be there.
here.
I will be there like around on Thursday and Friday just because it's so close. So
Okay. So will you miss seeing the figure division? When do they go on? I think
wow.
bodybuilding is Friday, but anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, I know bodybuilding and 212 is on Friday.
Mhm.
And I want to say the women's are on Saturday. I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure.
so you're
So,
gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. So you are a police officer. So you're a deputy sheriff.
nope, I'm a police officer. I
Okay.
was a deputy sheriff. Now I'm a
Okay.
police officer.
So what do you guys carry, and how often do you qualify? Or is that just like, or is it like the military? Again, another comparison. Like in the military, it used to be, well, in mine it was every 6 months, but no less than once a year you had to go and qualify. But with law enforcement, and you got the military too, how often are you qualifying?
So we qualify annually at my agency,
Mhm. Okay.
and we carry the Glock 9 mil.
Okay. And in the Army, you guys carry 45, which was typically the officer's pistol, but I don't know if that's the same now. And then, of course, you got the M4. So, and I'm assuming shotgun. So you're probably qualified on what, about 4 different weapons,
Um,
give or take?
yeah, we have the Glock at work. We have the FN rifle at work,
Mhm.
and we have the M4 in the Army, and then we have the Beretta in the Army. So yeah, about four. About four.
That's good stuff, though. I mean, it's a whole new attractiveness to a woman that is in the military, that shoots, that's in law enforcement. Yeah, I mean, it just is. I know when I was in, there was this girl. She was a jump master, paratrooper jump master,
Mm.
and she rode a Harley. So we're out on a jump, and she literally rolls up in the parking lot, and she was the jump master that day. Gets off her bike. She had this big, heavy jump master tattoo on her calf. Incredible. So gave you a lot of confidence as to what was about to happen, and she was good. So it was just
That's
something about
awesome.
a female leadership. Even when I had a female
Mm.
drill sergeant in basic training, it's just something about it different. A lot of males are like, you don't be trying to do that. But then a female drill sergeant could come in there and you do more, would motivate you differently. It was just different. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
agree because there's pros and cons to each. I think they just
Mhm.
they just bring something different.
Right.
So
All right. So let's turn on full bodybuilding. What have you seen? What do you like? The figure division is, you got a new Olympia, Miss Olympia. Um, what's been your thoughts on the whole year? Or have you had, just like the soccer, have you had a chance to keep your eye on what's going on in the bodybuilding world?
so I I like where figure is going just because I like the look of the muscle, right? Like I love the big round delts and the big wide lats into the small waist, into the nice quads, and then same from the back, big
Mm-hmm.
wide, nice rear delts, good lats, small waist, and then like a nice little round glutes into good legs. So I mean, personally, I love figure. Figure's my favorite look. I will say it's getting really hard.
Mm.
It's getting pretty hard, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
How
Um,
so?
just like with like striated glutes, right? I
Ah,
don't
well,
think,
there you
like
go.
I don't think I've ever seen like Sydney Gillen, for example, with like striated glutes. Now she was
Right,
definitely hard and separated, but
right.
she didn't have striated glutes.
And that's why she
Um,
was what, 8-time Miss Olympia. So, and
exactly.
she
Like
had
she did
that
not
big old
miss.
V taper, that they V tapering that X frame, and that V taper is like,
Exactly.
so. But yeah,
So
so when you look at Lola Montez, Jessica
hard.
Reyes
That girl was
Padilla,
hard.
yep, Jessica Reyes Padilla, uh,
Hard.
and then is it Lisa
Really hard.
Rhea? I don't know what her first name is. It Lisa, the current Miss Olympia. So I
Rhea
mean,
Gale.
Rhea Gale, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it really comes down, and that's been the whole topic, all summer and in the previous years. When you look at women's physique, it really comes down to criteria. I mean, if they're going to
Hmm.
go by the criteria, or do they need to rewrite it? I think women's physique came out in 2010, 2015, 2010, I think. But anyway, that criteria obviously does not match the criteria of 2026. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I don't think and you talk about judging across the board, across competitions, across shows is not consistent. So
Mm.
everybody sees the last show of the year, the last major show of the year, the Olympia, and they go by that. And then they go through doing their show throughout the year, and they're like, okay, that's not what it looked like at the Olympia. That's not what you judged here. That's not the way you judged there. And so I don't know. I guess it has to evolve, and every level has to evolve.
Yeah.
From women's bodybuilding all the way down to fit model now, and that's their
And
first
I
time. And
guess,
it has to evolve. So we'll see. It'll
and
fix it. It'll self correct, is what I believe.
I hope, I guess, and one thing that like people always the age old argument, right, is well, oh, on this side, oh, they're getting too hard, or they're getting too this, or they're getting too that. And then on the other end, there's like, well, then you just can't keep up.
Mm,
Or, well, of course the sport is going to evolve. So get with the times or don't. And it's like,
right.
okay, right, got it, valid tracking, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
as science progresses, as the sport becomes more popular, as things keep moving, of course, people's physiques are going to get better, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
machines are better, equipment is better, the science behind working out is better. Um, all these things, peaking is better. All these things, right? Right. Like if we talk
Right.
about the golden era, it really was just like lift really hard and
Mm-hmm.
diet really hard, and like that was it. And now there's like all these different things, right? So I get it, right? We are going to move that way. However, the speed in which we are moving, and also the there's
So
always going to be
it
someone, I
becomes
think.
unsafe at some point. You know,
Yeah, it becomes
it becomes unsafe.
unsustainable. There's always going to be someone who's willing to do literally everything and anything in their
Right.
available to them, right? They're going to go on these crazy drugs. They're going to do NPP. They're going to freaking cook their insides just so that they
Right.
can look, have the most shredded physique. And then that's the physique that wins. And now everybody else is either like, is that really okay? Is that really what we want? Like,
Right.
I don't want to cook my insides, just to look like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not
Right.
what I want. So now I don't if I don't look like that, you know, I'm never going to win. Well, I guess I'm done with the sport then because I'm never going to win,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I don't know,
Because at the end of the day, you got to
or
make
girls who are women's
it.
physique that stay in figure, or girls that are women's bodybuilders that stay in women's physique too long. It's like, just move,
Right.
just go, because you are
Exactly.
saturating and ruining um the division, because you do look great. That's the whole point. You
Hmm.
look so great that you moved yourself into another category. So just go
Exactly.
there, you know?
And what do you say when they say they don't want to move up? I'm a women's physique. I'm not moving up. I'm a figure. I don't want to move up to women's physique. I mean, is that a choice you ever thought of that could happen to you? You'd have to make that decision.
Absolutely. So I actually turned pro in women's physique.
Okay.
Um, yeah. And I had never competed women's physique before in my life. I had never done a single show. Like
Mhm.
the day before Amateur Olympia, I was like, wait, what's the difference between a side chest and a side try? Like, I did not know. I
Yeah.
didn't know which pose was what. So Um, so whatever, we ended up doing it, and that's the division I actually turned pro in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then my feedback from the judges was like, "You're kind of perfectly in the middle." I came in second place in my class
Right.
for figure and won the overall in women's physique. And they're like, "You're kind of perfectly placed in the middle right now. Like, I think this would be a pretty good physique um for pro figure. You just have to tighten up a little more. And if you want to
Right.
go pro women's physique, then you just need to add more mass and
Okay.
come in tighter." But like everything, but they were like, yeah, you could go either way. So that's a positive thing. Unfortunately, I don't have a problem moving up to women's physique. but I don't
Right.
think right now I am women's physique. I
Right.
think maybe in a year or two or three, I'll be women's physique. But and I still like during my check-ins to my coach, I still always hit like a front double and a back double along
Mm-hmm.
with my figure poses, just in case he's
Right.
like, wait a second, hold on, send let's change this so that we're sending all women's physique poses because this right here is looking something else, because that is that possibility. It was literally told to me by a judge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't have a problem with that. If I'm, women's physique, then I'm women's physique. If I'm figure, then I'm figure. I don't have a problem with that.
And so you naturally grow into that division,
Yeah.
and then a
And
lot of
as
it
you train,
yeah,
if you want
you
to
know,
grow your muscles, if you want to grow, you're going to grow into another category.
right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because you certainly don't look like you did, when you turned pro. And so it just naturally progresses and grows. And then it's the decision comes down to the athlete. You want to continue to compete. You want to continue to do this lifestyle. On the women's issue, do you want to have children? Do you not want to have children? Um, you will grow out of it and you will age out of it, because it is a lifestyle and you got to be willing to go to that level, because being a pro is another level, and then winning a pro show and Pia, it is what it is. So what are you, how bad do you want it? I guess is the question.
Exactly. Um,
Well, mm-hmm.
mhm. I was saying,
No,
like, for me personally, there's certain things that I am willing to do and not willing to do.
all right,
Um, but I haven't come to that crossroads yet. So
all right,
I'm good to just go on my own path, and see what happens after my pro debut because
right,
it's been a while. But
yeah.
so
Well, you just started prep, right?
yeah, like I'm in week
Okay.
2.
Okay. Well, yeah, you
Yeah,
literally just started.
literally just started.
Yeah. And I would imagine, and I was going to say, being in the military and being on Fort Jackson, it'd be hard to be in prep. But now that you finished with that, and you just started prep. How hard is prep going to be in conjunction with your law enforcement job, day to day duties? Will it be harder? I mean, I'm assuming you're probably going to work a 12-hour shift. Um, how are you going to find balance with that?
So we work 10s. We work 10-hour shifts, 4 days on, 3 days off.
Okay.
I think I haven't worked that schedule yet,
Okay.
and I've just been working like a 9 to 5 basically. Well, really it was what, like 8 to 4. I was working like 8 to 4 while I was kind of in training. So I don't know. I don't really know what to expect. I assume it'll be easier because previously, like when I turned pro and all my other shows, actually all of my shows, I
Mm-hmm.
was competing while I was at the sheriff's office, and there we were working 12s.
Ah,
So, and
was that
I found that
difficult?
extremely difficult. I hated it. I hated every second of it. It was super hard. It was very stressful. And it was like really long days, right? Like, okay, if I have to get up, whether I'm working days or nights, right? Like if I'm working days, I have to be at work at 6:45. Okay. Well, if I need to do an hour of fasted cardio, I'm waking up at like 3:30, and I'm not a morning person. So like so now I'm waking up at 3:30 to go do this morning freaking fasted cardio or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then working for 12 hours, being around inmates, having to like be super vigilant at all times, super
Mm-hmm.
aware, and then coming back, which is exhausting. Then coming
Mm-hmm.
back, and then say something happens at work. I have a report. I have a fight. Something happens. I have to go hands on, et cetera. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then I come home at 7 p.m. and go to the gym. Okay, so I train for an hour and a half approximately. maybe I have another 30 minutes of cardio to do or something. And now it's already like 9, 10 o'clock. I still have probably a meal to eat. So I'm going to bed at 11 o'clock to wake up at 3:30, so that
Yeah.
was really tough. I
Yeah.
hated it. I
Yeah.
absolutely hated it. It
Well, I
was not
mean,
easy. I hated that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the work rest cycle is imperative, especially if you're going to be in competitive bodybuilding and getting ready for a show. And it's literally unique in that you have 3 uniforms: police officer's uniform, a military uniform, and then of course
And a bikini.
a competition bikini. There you go. Don't wake up one morning and get mixed up and go to work with a pistol on your hip in your competition bikini. So
Competition bikini.
that'd be a bad day, probably.
Probably. Probably in my high heels. I'd be like, ah.
So do you have a sponsor, a suit sponsor, or yet, or are you
No.
looking for one? Or
No, I don't have any sponsors yet. I would love to get a sponsor, of course.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's just kind of how it goes. I think one thing for me, I like to post on Instagram and social media and everything, but I
Right,
am like obviously, as you could tell, a bit busy to be like
right,
constantly, oh, here's my whatever, and here, whatever. I
yeah,
don't know. So I think that's probably a little bit tough, but I would love this. I mean, I need a sponsor
yeah.
because I'm a
Gotcha.
I'm a public servant.
There, there you go.
So
And that's a great
I'm
segue
a,
because I was gonna say, I mean, could you see yourself as an influencer versus a competitor versus what you do on a daily basis? I mean, oftentimes you get the sponsorship, they want you to post so many times and you give access to yourself. Now it's great when they're flying you to the shows and they're picking up the tab and stuff like that on your hotel fees and tanning and stuff like that. But it's a tough lifestyle to do both because one, you got to believe in the product. I mean, and I wonder
mhm,
about a lot of competitors out there that's got this tub of BCAs up there and they're sharing on it. You know, do you really believe in that product, and then do you really use it? So, what's your thoughts on
yeah.
that?
Well, absolutely. Like if it's a product that I genuinely
Mm-hmm.
um, like absolutely. If it's something that I believe in, yeah, I don't think it would be that hard. Um, like for example, the friend that I'm staying with,
Mm-hmm.
he has Axe and Sledge, and like he loves Axe. Like everything
Yep.
before he got sponsored was Axe and Sledge protein, so that wasn't difficult for him, right?
Right.
Um, so I think the same for me.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
I was
love
in
I love
Pittsburgh.
raw products. I'm on a lot of raw supplements.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm I'm famous enough for them, but
Yeah. And then I was in Pittsburgh in the NPC teens and collegiate. Yeah, the Action Sledge is they're deep into it. Then there's Animal and so many other gas. I mean, even if you get a clothing sponsor, because
yeah,
even free clothing, when you don't have any, is great. So, and I
yeah.
believe you will once they get this video gets out there, and then it'll be the one. It'll be I think it's gonna be an issue of you turning down sponsorships because it's got to meet your
Oh,
brand. It's got to
hmm,
meet your brand. And let's be clear, you got 2 other brands that you represent: the military and, of course, law enforcement. So
exactly,
it's got you got to have a match with that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So Pete Hegseth is talking about low T and men going to get low T injections. What's your thoughts on that? And by that same token, then okay, do women need to go get T injections or estrogen or whatnot? Because he's on another level with that. Being in shape and no beards and stuff. But what's your take on it?
yeah, Pete Hegseth is something else, but I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it's a really good idea because I mean, in our ranks in our military,
Mm-hmm.
we are having like a fitness problem. We are kind of having like just like a health problem in general, and I think
Yeah,
a
a
big part
lifestyle
of that
problem.
is
Yeah.
exactly is hormone health.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm trying to convince my dad to go to get on TRT.
Mm-hmm.
And and my sister's an RN, and I'm trying to get her to also pressure dad, to
Yeah.
get on TRT. But I think it's a good idea, right? If it's low, get it fixed, and it should be more
Yeah.
accessible. Like you would want
Yeah.
your soldiers, the people fighting your wars, to be
Yep.
in to be in good health, to be, and also I think there's that negative stigma of like, oh, when you go on testosterone, then you're going to be like roid raging, or like, you
Oh,
just
yeah,
can't
that
keep it
would
in
be
your
pretty good.
pants, or whatever.
Like,
I don't
like
believe
the
that either.
athletes
I've
who have
been
to have.
around the bodybuilding
Yeah.
industry. I've been around.
Yeah.
That's just not the case. I just don't believe
Well,
that.
that's a lack of education, and
Exactly. Like
so
that doesn't happen
people,
unless you're
everybody say, "Oh, you're gonna be roid raging." You don't know anything about the science or anything about it, and educate yourself. And especially if you're a
exactly.
competitor just starting out, educate yourself on all that. But you got to figure how much people pay for low T treatments, right? And the military is getting it for free. Hey, there you go. Because now, if you're a competitor in the military, hey, that might help with your costs, right? Uh,
Exactly.
so it's all in balance. So, and you just have to go from there. Are you the only competitive bodybuilder in your family?
Yes. Yep. I'm the only one in my family that does bodybuilding.
How much do you love it? How much do you hate it? And when you look at all three, do you like? And when you look at all three, I mean, do you love being a soldier? Do you love being a police officer, or do you just love being a figure competitor?
I think I think I
Which
kind of
one is
love
your
and hate. Oh, my passion is bodybuilding. I think
passion?
health, fitness, um, like changing the body, like changing what you want to look like based off what
Right.
you eat and how you train is so interesting. That blows my mind, um, and all the positives that come with it. I think it's so fascinating. And anybody who isn't interested in that, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Right. Um, just like the body in general, like we have to live in this body, you know,
You only get
why
one.
not take care of it? Yeah, you only get one.
Yeah.
Like, why not take care of it? Why not do, and even if you don't want to compete, right? Okay, well,
Hmm.
there's still just health in general that
Yeah.
so that's definitely my passion, my hobby,
Yeah.
my passion. And I definitely wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't love it, because I am way too busy to be doing something
Oh
to
yeah.
be doing something this hard that I don't actually like love to do.
And
Like,
that expensive.
and that expensive. Yeah.
So let's talk dogs. And the trend that I've always seen is that women bodybuilders and always down the figure have a pit bull. Teresa Avancic, she has a pit bull. Although Chelsea Dion, she has a Frenchie, and you have a pit bull, correct?
Yeah, but I just had to put my pit bull down a couple months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry,
It's
man.
okay.
What happened? Just age, or?
Yeah, it was age, and she had bad legs, and she had like
Mm,
a mass that was growing on her face.
mm,
And it was like, yeah,
I'm sorry. You plan on getting another one, or no?
yeah,
Another
I
pit
do.
bull?
Another pit bull.
Well, you're leaving the state. This, other than North Carolina. I mean, hey, we do pit bulls now. I'm telling you.
I
But
love a pit bull. I think they're the best.
what I find though, I think pit bull diet, and that's what my whole point of bringing this up. A pit bull's diet most mimics a bodybuilder's diet, and they're on that treadmill, they're running, and then you look at their back and the traps. I mean, so I think people are a victim of the environment, and so the stuff that they most get when it comes to pet, and you'll find that a lot of the dogs start looking like the competitor, and vice versa. So,
Yeah.
but I
I
love them.
think,
I had pit bulls since 1997 when I was on Fort Jackson, and ironically enough, mine passed away earlier this year. The last one I had, because I had the mom, I had the son, and so yeah.
yeah.
But
I think
game
also,
bird,
as far as like my lifestyle goes, a pit bull
yeah,
fits in really well, because I want a dog that like I can go on a walk with, and I could do my
yep,
cardio with, but
yep,
also isn't so energetic that like
yeah,
that like now I'm tired. Like the dog tired me out,
Yeah, you don't
I
want a
want to tire the
Malinois.
dog out.
You
Yeah,
don't
like I
want
don't want a Malinois.
you don't want the police dog. No.
Exactly. I have thought about going on the canine team, but that would
Oh,
that be
that would be
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
I would like that, but that would be obviously difficult. But like for example, like that dog, I wouldn't just go get that dog, like a Malinois or a
Yeah.
German Shepherd, to just
Right.
have at home as my at home dog, because
Yeah.
those dogs need to be worked and ran
Yeah.
and
They're a working dog. Yeah. And
exactly. And then if
their
you
energy
don't,
levels. Yeah, their
yeah,
energy levels.
like I like a pit bull, like she'll be on the couch, she'll be chilling, she'll be
Mhm.
asleep all day, and then when it's time, it's like, hey, we're going on a walk, hey, we're doing this, we're doing
Yeah.
that, and then then we were
Yeah.
out. But she wasn't like ping, 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 ping. She was just
Yeah.
doing what we were supposed to do, and then we go back
Yeah.
to the house. And then once she started to age, I kind of got her old anyway, but like
Yeah.
once she started to slow down and her hips were becoming a problem, I got her a little cart, and she would just stay
Yeah.
in the cart. And like I'd push the cart, and I was doing like 3 miles
Yeah. Yeah.
during prep, and she'd
Yeah.
be
The
right there with
hip
me. So
plasia. Yeah. Hip plasia, I think it's called. Yeah.
yeah,
And the pit bull will be in the fight with you because I'm like,
exactly. And then she'll be in the fight.
that's
She's got
hey
that.
man.
She's got that
Yeah.
dog in her. You know.
That's it. People just don't understand, especially a game bred one. So I mean, and
Yeah.
that's code for all those guys out there that have pit bulls and are actually fighting them for the wrong thing. But you can flip their personality, and that's the perfect guard dog. You know,
Mm-hmm.
of them, and they're so residual. I mean, they can, like I said, they'll fight you to get off of a treadmill. A working dog, and love them. So I may get one, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've
I think
enjoyed
I think
talking to
pit
you.
bulls
I
are
really
better than
have. Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Staffordshire,
Staffies
whatever
and
they
all
are.
these mixing
Yeah,
and all these
I
guys
don't really
out
like
there.
a staffy is too much for me.
Yeah, I
Staffy
mean
is
all these
too
guys
much.
out there
I
getting
couldn't
these
do that.
paint sized pit bulls and got them away. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, I also
You
don't
know,
like I don't want a little teacup dog either. I
yeah,
want a full
yeah,
dog.
yeah. Teacup them Chihuahuas. They're gonna start it, but they ain't gonna finish it. But.
Exactly. And
So
that's a
it's
problem.
crazy.
They started. That's a problem right there.
Yeah, exactly. And you go to jail for if they bite someone, you go to jail just as quick as you go to jail with a pit bull biting somebody. But. But
Exactly.
so, what are your goals? And I want to get you out of here on this one. When you look at, what are your competition goals? But what are your career goals as well? I mean, do you see yourself as chief of police one day, or are you not thinking that far? Do you see yourself obviously Miss Olympia, or even do you see yourself as far as a general in the military?
I think as far as competing goes at this point, I just want to do my pro debut and get top 10. That's
Okay.
kind of that is as far as I'm thinking for bodybuilding.
Right.
Pro debut top 10. Um, because it is a tough division and there's a lot of good girls. So I
Yeah.
don't want to be like, I'm going to be number one. I'm like, that's just not going to happen. Um, but if I could get top 10 in my pro debut, I'd be very, very happy with that. So that's my goal there. I don't want to think too far in advance. Top 10 on my pro debut. That's where I'm at.
Right.
That's it. For my
Good.
military, I definitely want to, I think I could see myself as a really good colonel,
Mm-hmm.
a
But
really
not a
good
good
like
general.
lieutenant.
Come on,
That's
man.
so hard.
Well, and let's be clear with AG and a female. Yeah, it's hard. I know my commanding officer got all the way up to lieutenant colonel, and she was an AG officer when she closed out, but she was a lieutenant colonel. But she was married. Her husband was infantry. He went all the way up to full bird colonel. So yeah,
Mhm.
but you never know. And that's a whole politics thing too. But yeah,
Exactly. And then once you're up there, it's all politics anyway, and who knows. But
yeah,
I definitely think I could get to colonel, and if
yeah.
I would I would consider myself uh, successful if
Mhm.
I got to colonel. I'd be very happy with that.
Law enforcement.
Lieutenant colonel, colonel.
Okay.
And Because I do already have like 13 years in, right? So it's already
Okay.
like, ugh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
also a
You're already
time
up.
constraints
You're up
there.
against it. Yeah.
I'm up against
And
the clock a little bit.
yeah.
So,
And with the
you know,
officers, it's
I'm
heavily
already
education.
31.
Yeah, it's heavily education based too, because if you don't
Hmm.
have your master's by, you can't compete as a major
Exactly.
unless you have your master's, for example. So there's that
Exactly.
part of it too.
Yeah. So there's masters, there's war college, there's all the other things too.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then on the law enforcement side, I would love. It's funny because I told one of my previous corporals, Corporal Allen. Shout out Corporal Allen. Love you, Corporal
Mm-hmm.
Allen. I told him, I was like, I'm going to be the sheriff, and you are going, and you are going to be right there beside me. Like you're going to be my guy, like my right hand man. And he's like, okay, Gist, like whatever, you know. So, but yeah, if I could do that, that'd be great.
Well, appreciate talking to you. Like I said, you have a great background, and definitely going to feature it as an article in Amazon's Fitness Magazine. And then, of course, I want to shoot you for Amazon's Fitness Magazine as well. So let me know
Definitely.
as we get closer, and
As we
because
get closer.
I'd love to feature you in the magazine. 'Cause a lot of
And
times,
you're up.
competitors don't want to do photo shoots unless they're shredded, and then others they'll shoot anytime. What's your thought on that? You like to be totally ripped and shredded before you do a photo shoot, or you don't care?
I like the like 8 to 6 weeks out. Like eight, I think 8, 6 because it's like full, but
Mhm.
it's lean, you know, it's like full, but it's lean, like the, you know,
Right.
full and lean. I like 8 weeks, 7, 6, 5,
Yeah,
4, 3, 2, 1.
I got you.
You
Now,
know,
will you do a shoot on prep week or no? Because some
I could do
coaches
that.
they'll say they'll never let the athlete don't do a shoot on peak week because hey, we're talking about the show. And so they would say you can do it up to 2 weeks now, and they cut it off, and then of course 2 weeks after, because once they eat that burger and you come in the photo shoot, they're rolling. But I mean, you would do it peak week,
If possible, yeah.
yeah.
Like
Because
if
a
it
lot of
worked
times
in the
too,
schedule, I don't
right?
mind. As long
A
as my
lot of
coach
times,
doesn't mind, I don't mind.
yeah. When the photographers can only get you because I'm like, and you're at a show, and say the competitor came from overseas, and this is the only time you're going to see them, when they come, and so yeah, you want to get that photo shoot done. So I leave it up to the competitor, but if I can get you like 2 weeks prior and as late as 2 weeks after, I'm good. Because and the whole thing about I want competitors to understand, and everybody should understand, you got to take photos because you're never going to look like that again. Literally,
That's so
I mean,
true.
of that particular show, you will never look like that again because one, you're going to look better, and so more photos, more content. Uh, but that's my thing from being a photographer. So, but yeah, always take photos. And then you look back, years, and you're sitting there and you're rocking chair with your kids. Say, look, see, no, you was never like that. Look at that.
Yeah. No, I
So,
was. No.
yeah, there you
And
go. You got that.
you're in North Carolina or South Carolina?
I am in North Carolina in Rayford, which is
Okay.
about 3 hours from Fort Jackson, about
Okay.
2 hours from Charlotte, and that way as well. But when
It's
I
not too
go to
bad.
Florida, just get on the I-95 and I'm there. So
All
please
right.
stay in
Sounds
touch,
good.
and I'll be hitting you up, and so we can do this shoot.
Definitely will. Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you. Dominique Gist, IFBB Figure Pro, getting ready for her pro debut. Great feature, great background, balancing three careers literally with the military, being a competitive bodybuilder, and then, of course, in the military and in law enforcement. So that's a tough issue. Uh, the broadcast is brought to you by GPS Photography and Video. So now as we're getting into it, I shoot pretty much everything. I just did a wedding a couple of weeks ago. I was just in Pittsburgh. Did obviously a photo shoot with a competitor that you're gonna love seeing it, and that issue that's coming out. And so I pretty much do it all. But I mean, Amazon's Fitness Magazine is only one piece of GPS photography and video. So it's an important piece to me, obviously, but it's only one slice of the pie, as they say. that I do, because I do varied things. I shoot the school yearbook. I shoot seniors, weddings, events, photography. I shoot sports, especially as the football season is getting ready to wrap up. So you'll see me out there and about. But I would love for everybody to go out on amazonsfitmag.com and subscribe to the website. And of course, go out and order the magazine. You literally go to amazonsfitmag.com and then click on copies or links, and go out there and then click on the link issues. It'll take you to the magazine rack, and you order whatever you would like of all the issues. The January issue, of course, featured number 2 in the world, Ashley Jones. And I'm anxious to see how she does this coming Olympia coming up. The spring issue, as I call it, because with everything that got behind a little bit based on dealing with some personal stuff, will be coming out shortly. That's finished now. And the summer issue right after it. And, love who's going to cover both those issues. But I'm constantly shooting content. So if you want to be in the magazine, hit me up at amazonsfitmag.com and let me know. Ideally, I like to feature a women's bodybuilder on the cover, but a centerfold layout of all the other categories as well. And as far as who's on the cover, it's best available. It's best available. But if you want to be in the magazine, if you want to support the magazine, if you want me to support your division and get your name out there, hit me up so that you can find yourself in Amazon's Fitness Magazine, or maybe even on the cover. Coming up tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Well, I'll make that announcement later on. But there got more podcasts coming out as I talk to more competitors. I was out and about today visiting gyms and talking to some people, and they're finding a lot of competitors that are working out in the area gyms. Crush Fitness, it just opened up a branch here just down the street from my high school on Ireland Drive, and then they're going to open up another one out on Skybo or Skibo, those that know, here in Fayetteville on next Monday, I believe it is. And so go out. They got a lot of great deals coming up as far as memberships. And so I always call those hybrid gyms. Everybody wants to look for a bodybuilding gym, but they're both. So I enjoyed my talk with them and the managers out there today. And of course, go out and support locally and support globally. A lot of shows coming up. If you're a competitor, get in them. Get yourself known. And again, I love all the competitors that's now putting out their content and everything, which was a lot from where it was 4 years ago, because if you control the content, you control the narrative. So glad to see that. Till next time, like I said, coming up later on this weekend, I got some podcast announcements coming up, and then, of course, early next week. But I enjoy, appreciate everyone's support, and enjoy everyone being a sponsor and supporter of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. Go out and buy the magazine. If you see me out and about the shows, hey, say hello. Just like I was at the NPC Team Collegiate in Pittsburgh this past weekend. So thanks for all those who came out. And while I was out there, they saw me and said, hey, glad we like what you're doing. And so I appreciate you. Till then, we'll see you next time.